What's going on, you guys? It's Queerphorexia, and we're back with another video. This one is one we haven't really done before. Today we are going to be upgrading the Ahoy Mateys Precon from the Lost Caverns of Ixilan. I'm really excited about this deck. I think it's really neat and really cool. I'm personally a big typo or kindred player. I like playing creature types that all sync together. I think it's a lot of fun. So yeah, if you're excited for Lost Caverns of Ixilan, please like the video and comment down below which deck you're most excited for. This is my personal choice. I mean, it has a black market connections in it. Like, it's gonna be a good deck. Anyways, yeah, thank you to TCGPlayer, the sponsor of this video. I'll give you all some information about them later. Let's get into the upgrade. So, getting into the face commander of the Precon, we have Admiral Brass Unsinkable. For 2, and Grixis is a legendary creature, human pirate. When Admiral Brass Unsinkable enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains haste until the end of turn. And a finality counter is if a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead. She is a 3/3. I think she is a really good commander. You also have the optional commander of Don Andres, the Renegade, 1, and Grixis Vampire Pirate. Each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2, has Menace and Death Touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens for 3. My personal version of the deck is gonna be Bird Bros Incorporated, Rule 0, with Francisco, Malcolm, and Breaches. Francisco is my favorite card personally from this deck. Francisco is a 1 and a black bird pirate, flying. He cannot block. Whenever 1 or more pirates you control deal damage to a player, Francisco explores. And of course, you know the dream duo of Malcolm, Keen-Eye Navigator, 2 and a blue, flying siren pirate. When 1 or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponent, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. And Malcolm Breaches, Brazen Plunderer, 3 and a red, Menace Goblin Pirate. Whenever 1 or more pirates you control do damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards until the end of turn, and you may spend mana as though it were any to cast those spells. And yeah, this is going to be my Rule 0 deck. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And for the stinkers who don't want me to play 3 people in the command zone, we'll be playing Francisco and Ludwig, Necro Alchemist. 1 is it human wizard. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player may draw a card if a player other than you lost life this turn. 1/4. We'll probably never cast Ludwig. Honestly, I am just obsessed with Francisco. I think this dude is really neat and really sweet. So next we're gonna talk about the mana base before we get to the meat and potatoes of what we took out and what we're adding into the deck. So we're taking out the Thriving Cycle of lands. We are taking out a couple of basics and I think there's a couple of our other lands we took out. We narrowed it down to 36 lands. We added in the Battle Bond Cycle lands, Morphic Pool, Luxury Suite, and I can't think of the name of the easy one, but it's on screen right here. It sure is. It's right there. And we added in Grixis Panorama and one other, Reflecting Pool. We added in Reflecting Pool because that card's sick. We also added in the Pain Cycle lands because mana fixing is mana winning. Your life does not matter until the final one. So yeah, we added those lands in. We took out the Thriving Cycle, Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, and a couple of basics, and I think that was it for the land cycle. It was pretty easy to fix the mana base, because as y'all know, Precon mana bases have been really good recently, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of editing to it at all. So yeah, that's the mana base. Next, I want to talk about the cards we cut out of the deck. It's fairly simple. Fairly simple. These are just my personal picks for cards you can cut out. You can cut out whatever cards you want. I took out 18 of them personally outside of the land base. We took out Amphin Mutineer. We took out Azure Fleet Admiral. We took out Departed Dockhand. Evacuation. We took out Ghost of Ramirez de Petro. We took out Warkite Marauder, Lethal Scheme, Captivating Crew, Coercive Recruiter, Direfleet Daredevil, Hostage Taker, King Narfi's Betrayal, Rakdos Charm, Zara Renegade Recruiter, and the Signet Cycle. Oh, and Wayfarer's Bubble. I don't like the Signet Cycle. We replace those with the Talismans. A lot of these, a bunch of these are like take opponent stuff. I play a lot of Spell Table, so taking people's cards is a little difficult. So I took a lot of those out. Some of those were like, and some of the choices were like cards that were just like cards that weren't our playstyle in this deck that we're going for specifically. But what we're going to talk about next is today's sponsor of the video, TCGPlayer. Their website offers a wide selection of Magic the Gathering products, including booster packs, singles, sealed product. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, they have everything you need to build your perfect deck. TCGPlayer prides themselves on competitive pricing and fast shipping. They offer free shipping on orders over $25, so you can get your cards quickly and easily. Plus, their user-friendly website makes it easy to find exactly what you're looking for. So what's the hold up? Head to TCGPlayer and build your new deck today. And to finish this off, we're going to talk about the cards that we put into the deck, the meat and potatoes, the cards that I think personally can go into this deck. There's a few that I didn't actually put into my version of the deck that I'm going to be sleeving up after this video. But that you could, I'll be talking about those at the very end of the video. But to start us off, we added Unearth because more recursion is always good. You can always use more recursion. Next, we added in Terminate because Terminate's just good removal. It's just great removal even. Next, we are going to talk about Grim Hireling. We're doing a lot of attacking in this deck, and we like making treasures. So Grim Hireling fits into this deck really well. It slots in real good. Counterspell. We added Counterspell to the deck because this deck doesn't really come with counter magic, and Grixis, you're going to play some counter magic. Frantic Search because outside of creatures doing combat damage and stuff, we don't have a lot of combat or a lot of card draw in the deck, so I think Frantic Search is a good card to slot in along with Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, and Malcolm is just a good pirate. The course counters are going to be really great, and casting stuff without their mana cost is always good. Always good. Next, we added in Captain Storm, Cosmium Raider. We're making a lot of treasures in this deck, so like, of course, we're playing Captain Storm to make our pirates bigger. And yeah, I think Captain Storm is a sick card. I almost downgraded this deck to Izzet to play just to play Captain Storm, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity for Bird Bros Incorporated. Next, we're adding in Molten Collapse, a new card from Ixilan, and it reads for Rakdos. Choose one. If you've descended this turn, you may choose both instead. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent, mana value 1 or less. So that gets rid of our pesky creature tokens or like copies. It gets rid of creatures in general. It gets rid of treasures, etc. I think it's just a good card. It gets rid of like Mana Vault, not Mana Vault, but Mana Crypt. It gets rid of your free artifacts, etc. We also added in Opt because, like I said, I didn't think this deck had enough card draw in it, so I wanted to make a few slots for that. Hedron Detonator, a card that was recently introduced in March of the Machines, 2 and a red. A Goblin Artificer 2/3. When an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Hedron Detonator deals 1 damage to target opponent, and you can sacrifice 2 artifacts, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. I think this card is really, really, really good, and especially you can run more things like this, like Nadier's Nightblade, Lightning Rig Crew, Their Endbringer, etc. You can run a lot more of these pingers. You're just going to have to run things like Arcane Adaptation, Maskwood Nexus, and Xenograph to turn those things into pirates so that they trigger Bird Bros Incorporated. Next, we're going to talk about Deadeye Brawler 2 and Damir Death Touch Ascend. And whenever Deadeye Brawler deals combat damage to a player, if you have the City's Blessing, draw a card 2/4. I just think it's a really cool card. I like introducing the City's Blessing when we can. So I think it's a really good addition. An offer you can't refuse because it's a really good counterspell in Pod Commander. And I think it's really good. And those are the cards we added in. A few of the cards that we did not just talk about that I think you could add to the deck I have sitting right beside me. So Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual I think is a really good addition to the deck. Thermo Alchemist I think is a good addition, but like I said, if you're going to run these types of cards, you're going to need to run Arcane Adaptation, Xenograph, Maskwood Nexus. You can also run Glittering Stockpile. I think this card's a sick card. Shutsunuku Penna did us really good with that card. You could also run more recursion, like Dread Return, Reanimate, etc. You could also run cards like Factor Fiction. I think Factor Fiction is a really good card in this type of deck where you're playing a lot of creatures, a lot of artifacts. I think it's a really good card. I think you could add more card draw, Ponder, Consider, more red card draw like Cathartic Reunion, etc. But yeah, this deck comes pre-packaged together really nicely. It was really hard to make cuts in this deck to add stuff I personally wanted into the deck. And you can also run the New Breaches. It's right here. I don't know exactly what it does off head. I did not prep that for this video, but I think New Breaches could go in this deck as well. You could also run like some Grixis Planeswalkers if you really want to get sluggy, like any of the Nicobolus. And yeah, so if you liked this video, please leave a like down there where the like button is. I think it's like right here or right here, and it's one of the corners. It's down there. And leave a comment down below what cards you're going to be adding to Ahoy Mateys. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? You should subscribe down below. I post videos every Friday, and it's not always Commander. Sometimes it's Dual Commander. I'm going to be introducing 60 card formats to the YouTube soon with Modern and Standard, especially with Standard RCQ season around the horizon. I'm excited to start my Grinder arc as a Golgari mid-ranger. And yeah, that being said, I will see y'all in the next video, and I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend.